Hello everyone, DonTheCrown here, and I want to go over a real quick video about the second season reveal. Normally we get a season reveal in the West, and then Korea tends to get this like podcast thing where they get to see additional footage, they get to talk about additional stuff, they get to show things. And I don't really normally go over this too much, but I did want to talk about some of the things that we did pick up just from like watching through this. Even though I don't speak Korean, there's just some really obvious things that you can take away from this. The first thing is what skill Bing 1 or Bing 2 is going to be leveling with here. And definitely can just tell that it's going to be Fire Burst because that's the skill they're using here right at the start of the campaign, using Fire Burst and just blasting stuff down. And we kind of get to see like what that's going to look like as it scales up. And they showed like some leveling, and then this is pretty much one of the last bosses in the campaign. So you can kind of just see him go up and just pop his ultimate, just blast the boss down. And then the second phase part comes down as well, and pretty quickly knocks this down as well. And so the damage does look pretty good here on Fire Burst. This is probably what I'm going to be leveling up with the campaign, probably playing it first. And I think that's pretty cool. It's nice to see that. And one more tiny thing that we picked up from this as they were standing still here, or just you can kind of see it if we like enhance a little bit. But if we enhance, we can kind of see that they have this staff in their hand here, which looks just like the new staff that we're getting this season. It's called Scorching Tempo, which gives us levels of charged flame, spell fire damage, and damage to spells, but only fire damage can be dealt. You can also kind of tell this is going to be like a big item kind of in the end of the campaign, because we go and compare it to last season. We got Oathkeeper, which also required level 45. Both of these weapons require level 45. So just kind of like this seems to be kind of following that, give us something that's kind of a build defining strong legendary at the end of the campaign to kind of carry you into the actual like going through the time marks. Now, other stuff that we picked up here is a little bit of information about prisms that we didn't have before. So Prism, as you know, is like a new thing. We're going to socket it into your passage tree, and we can see very clearly that this prism is replacing the main talent here in Assassin. And so when he takes the prism out and the main talent goes away. Also note that when he takes the talent out, there's no like warning or heads up or you're going to destroy this. So it definitely does appear that you're able to go and socket prisms for free and without any sort of issues, especially because you can see it back in his inventory, and so we can put it wherever he wants, which is pretty neat. I'm very happy about that. I didn't really like how in Arcana season to take any fate out pretty much either destroys it or causes you to need to go and spend money to remove it. It also kind of shows how much it's going to be to roll some of these, and these seem really stinking cheap, like 3 FE and like 3 of these little things. I think it's going to be relatively impactful kind of here, like in the like end of tier 7. You're probably gonna be getting like your blue prisms, and then you're gonna be setting up for purples probably in tier 8 into profound. You're probably getting legendaries in profound and above, and just getting these rolls on seem a lot cheaper than some of the power they were receiving in the previous seasons. Like I was thinking about Sandlord. Sandlord seemed pretty bad this past season, especially early on, and I don't really know how much people are going to actually farm it, but like getting my first belt enchant I think was pretty expensive for me relative to like how little power it provided. Now other stuff that we kind of see in here is the fact that we can go and see the reverse mirror thing. And these are pretty much going to be a giga freaking expensive. This is like a red tier item. Typically any item that is rare in or red in the game is super duper rare. And the one that this does is increases the effect of any small talent nodes by 101%, any mediums by 46%, and any legendary ones by 48%. And when you socket it into your tree, it takes everything within its range and mirrors it onto the other side of the tree. So we can see basically he places this in here, and all of these nodes over here get replaced by the nodes that are over there, and they're like flipped both horizontally and vertically. So we can see like this node corresponds up here, this node over there. It's just kind of nice to see how that works. And also they have no requirements. So if you like put this into your tree, you can just go and start clicking on all of these points right away. which does really, make sense. I don't really think that most people are going to get to mess around with this. This is pretty much like, these are going to be expensive, very, very expensive. Maybe you like get one that has like bonuses to just smalls that you'll reflect over that are good, or mediums, but like the ones that are giving bonuses to legendaries, I think are just going to be absolutely ludicrously priced. We also got to see some gameplay of the actual season mechanic. It's a little bit different than what I was expecting, where basically you're going to be running through this region and just killing monsters. And it does seem like monsters kind of like continue to attack him. Like it wasn't like necessarily like full clearing a normal map. And when he fills up the meter here, he does appear to like click on the button to progress to the next floor. So you might actually have to progress to the next floor like this. And then another thing I noted, which is like kind of a red flag, which is hopefully something they're going to fix, is that as he goes down a floor through the portal, that pretty much resets all of the progress on his like hero trait. And that means that you're going to need to basically rebuild up your hero trait. And like Rosa 2, for example, that's kind of like a really bad thing if you're mana stacking, because mana stacking, typically you are going to want to have to get your mana stack kind of going every single map. And so having to do that like 5 or 6 times on a map sounds really pain. And then as you leave, I believe all the loot kind of like pops out here at the end as well. So you don't necessarily need to pick that up. They did kind of show off some Thunderbolt Overload gameplay there. And they did show like kind of this like special deeper area of the league mechanic where there's like a lot more loot popping out. We can see that they have like 6 vials already filled up. So this is probably like what a bottom floor run will kind of look like. Maybe there's like a boss after this as well. I'm kind of expecting there to be a boss that they haven't showed off yet. But we'll have to kind of see about that. We kind of see like all of that is flame elementium hitting the ground, all the orange there. So it does look pretty good. We're not really clear what tier this is or how juiced up it is, but very excited to like get some big fat loot at the end of these runs. Now they did show some additional gameplay here, like the Thundercloud gameplay. This is not really a skill that I was even really thinking about, but after seeing this map run, I was kind of like, maybe. It looks pretty cool. If anything, the only downside would be that you definitely need to turn down your graphics, but just like unleashing this storm of lightning that is just nuking everything around you does seem pretty cool. I think this is like in 7-2 gameplay, so our guy's not super duper geared here, and he's also not doing a ton of damage, but definitely looks pretty cool just having these like storms go everywhere, probably killing most of the enemies behind him. And the boss gets like obviously dumpstered, which is pretty nuts. A little bit more TBO, kind of like what it looks like. TBO just kind of like bounces a whole bunch. I think it kind of like kills your PC a little bit. So I'm not necessarily sure that I want to play that, but I kind of feel like it's down between like Fire Burst, TBO, Chain Lightning, maybe the Storm Cloud stuff. And there's a couple other things that could potentially be. So there's definitely some cool gameplay that we got to see here. I'll put a link to this in the description down below. But also, if you happen to play on the Asia realm, there is a code for 200 free Primo, Torchlight SS10. This only works in the Asian region. I tried claiming it in NA and in EU. Did not work there at all. This is only for Asia. I don't really know why they put exclusive codes, but here we go. Hopefully this video helped you out, give you a little bit of insight into what's coming on. And we'll see you guys very, very soon. Very excited for the next season. Later.